Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Kernels of Truth, brought to you by Progress Kentucky. Thank you so much for joining us this week. We're going to be bringing you the breaking political news out of Kentucky, focusing on some bipartisan signs of hope from Frankfort. We've got a legal defense of one of Kentucky's few progressive policies, and how constituents are pressuring one of Kentucky's highest profile House GOP members. Then, super thrilled, we'll be checking in with Dustin Reinstedler, president of Kentucky's AFL-CIO, in advance of what I think is a momentous Labor Day. We're going to hear about the state of labor, of workers, how we can fight against the billionaire takeover of, well, everything. Should be an awesome show. Damn glad you've joined us this week. But before we get into it, I want to check in and make sure you are ready to help create a more compassionate Commonwealth. We are sorely in need of significant political change in our Commonwealth. We're laser focused for the next 14 months. We're going to be looking at flipping the Kentucky 6th District. This is like our best chance to turn something purple. And there are key state house seats that are within that 16 county congressional district. It's a big job to do it. It's going to take volunteers. It's going to take time. It's going to take resources. We need your help. Please consider making a monthly contribution right now via our secure online website, Act Blue, to help turn Kentucky purple. That's what we're laser focused on doing, people. You want to join in, help out, help establish the House of Representatives as a bulwark to Trump's crazy town annex. His, not really so much, a creeping authoritarianism as a leaping authoritarianism. We need your help. All right, so let's check in with our co-hosts. Who you are, where you are, and who is on your biting list, folks. I like this. We're going to keep doing this. We launched it when we had Silas House in honor of his collaborations with Tyler Childers and the new Tyler Childers song. If you've not heard Biting List, you got to check it out. But I'll go first. So I'm Aaron, coming to you from, traditionally, I'm in Lexington. Today, I'm in Indianapolis on my way to a work function. But my biting list, Ryan Dotson. So if you don't know Ryan Dotson, congratulations. He's a state rep. He's currently running for the open 6th congressional district, apparently on an agenda of anti-abortion, anti-trans, cultural war on woke. His most important policies are supporting Trump and inserting himself between you and your doctor. Whether you're pregnant or trans, he knows best. Ryan knows best, folks. The only upside of his Christian nationalist congressional campaign is that he's leaving the 73rd State House district vacant. So if you're a fired up Democrat in Clark County or this little slice of Fayette County that's in the 73rd district, if you agree the GOP treatment of Governor Beshear is horrible, maybe you should consider running for that state house. We need good candidates. I think a competitive primary is always a great thing. But you could take on Ryan Dotson, who, of course, is just this anti-trans, anti-abortion jerk. I'm just gonna say he's a jerk. And if I had the rabies, he'd be very high on my list. All right, let's check in with our co-hosts. Kimberly, are you there?
Yes, I am, Aaron. And how is everybody doing? So glad to be here. I'm coming to you live from Seoul, South Korea. It is already the next day. We are approximately 13 hours ahead. And I wanted my Biden list today to be Trump again, but I was told by the executive producer it can't be Trump, although I wanted to talk about how he wanted to imprison people for life if they were felons and they were found with a gun, whether it was used or unused, and several other things that are leading up into martial law. So since I won't use Trump today, I will say on my Biden list is the Department of Justice Special Counsel, Ed Martin. Why is he on the Biden list today? Because he is asking that great New York Attorney General, Loretta James, to resign amid ongoing federal investigations. He's even trying to investigate her properties. He's trying to find dirt anywhere. He's not coming up with anything, but he thinks that she needs to resign now. If she resigns, what are we going to do with all the other cases that a lot of these other people have?
That's a good question. Yeah, definitely some authoritarian use of the wheels of justice for political grievances and political scores. And Ed Martin is a piece of work. That guy definitely deserves to be on a Biden list. All right, welcome from Seoul. That's so amazing. You're joining us internationally. That's so cool. All right, and then final co-host this evening. Very thrilled to have back on the show the one, the only Nate O. Nate, how are you?
Hey, Aaron. Hey, Kimberly. I'm doing great. Coming at you live and direct from South Frankfort. And, just beyond thrilled to be with both of you, especially Kimberly, it sounds like you're just broadcasting from Midway, but Seoul. Good Lord, you sound awesome. Biden list. This is a new thing. The last time I was on was before Tyler Childers released his new album. So high on my Biden list would be my congressman, Jamie Comer. And I will tell you why in a little bit, but suffice it to say, if I start frothing at the mouth, I'm going looking for that guy.
That's an excellent addition to the list, the cumulative list. Yes, for sure. Jamie Comer deserves a rabid bite. All right, so let's jump into news of the week. We got a great lineup of stories to share with you. I think the first story is coming to us from Dr. Cecil Jones.
Yes. I have a wonderful story to give to you all tonight. And we'd like to give our kudos and shout outs to the Kentucky Lantern, which is part of our state newsroom, as they call it. There is a bipartisan effort to restore voting rights for Kentuckians with felonies expected in 2026. Actually, how this is going to go. It's two senators actually that are going to that are starting to put this out. It was out once before in 2020. Some of the language has changed, but let me tell you a little bit more about it. The two senators, one a Republican, one a Democrat, plan to sponsor legislation in 2026 to put a constitutional amendment on the ballot with the aim of restoring voting rights to most convicted felons. So Senator Jimmy Higdon, he's a Republican from Lebanon, Kentucky, and friend of the show, most definitely Senator Keturah Herron, told the interim joint committee local government that basically their legislation would exclude people convicted of treason, election-related crimes, sexual offenses, and crimes against children. A spokesperson for the Senate Democrats said that the legislation has not yet been drafted as the details are still being worked out. Senator Higdon said the language will be pretty much identical to previous versions of the bill. His 2020 version of this bill also excluded people with intellectual or developmental disabilities or serious mental illnesses who have been adjudicated as disabled and who have not retained their voting rights or had those rights restored. Also in 2019, our wonderful, fabulous governor, Andy Beshear, restored the voting rights of some 140,000 Kentuckians through an executive order. Our governor also excluded those convicted of violent crimes and other serious offenses. Senators Higdon and Herron expressed concern that a future governor could undo Beshear's order and undo these restored rights. Voting rights restoration varies across the United States, according to the National Conference of State Legislators. In 23 states, people convicted of felonies lose their right to vote while behind bars and then get that right restored automatically when released. Kentucky is one of 10 states that require additional actions for a person voting right to be restored, according to the National Conference of State Legislators. It has been my belief that once someone has been convicted of a crime, they do their time and they come out. That a part of them coming out and being a citizen and being whole is that they should be able to vote again. And that is what Senator Keturah Herron was quoted saying. Also, a lot of people don't know. Sometimes you have to go through an expungement process as well. And there are some felonies that can be expunged from your record. A lot of people don't know that. There are certain felonies that can drop off, but also it costs money. Sometimes upwards $300 or more to get things expunged so you can get all of your rights back. So there are organizations. Hopefully this Trump administration won't cut anymore. But I know for certain, like the Urban League, they do it once or twice a year to expunge your record, get you signed up if you were a felon, all those type of things. And believe it or not, there are still felons here in the state of Kentucky that do not even know that they are eligible to sign up, register, and vote. Back to you, Aaron.
Yeah, it's an important story. We'd love to have Keturah on. It's been a minute since she's been on the show. She's such a champion for civil rights, such a champion for voting rights, such a champion for her district. Glad that she's found some common ground with Senator Higdon, and hopefully that bill will, fly through the Senate, and they've got some stuff lined up in the House as well. So that'll be something we'll be watching in 2026. We got a minute to schedule Senator Herron to the show. Nate, any thoughts about voting rights in Kentucky? You're muted.
I'm muted. I'm ranting and I'm muted. For them, I love like groups like Kentuckians for the Commonwealth that have been working on this issue for years and years. And it's just basic good social justice. It's just basic fairness. You've done the crime and you've done your time, blah, blah, blah. You know the rest. You should be able to have every right of every other citizen. So, count me in on the fight for this.
Awesome. We will. We'll figure out how we can weigh in for sure. We got some time, like I mentioned, but we'll be sure to have our legislative committee watchdogging that bill as it proceeds. Awesome.
Right.
Thanks for sharing that story with us, Kim. All right, so I think I got the next story. This is one about one of those kind of rare, truly progressive policies that existed, and now it is being challenged. This is also a story from the Lantern. So a Latino civil rights organization that hopes to stop the Trump administration from denying in-state college tuition rates to immigrants without permanent legal status is intervening in a challenge to that Kentucky policy. So the U.S. Department of Justice sued Governor Beshear and I think the Kentucky Education Cabinet earlier this summer to stop the state from granting in-state college tuition rates to immigrants without permanent legal status. The department said an administrative regulation that allows those immigrants in-state tuition discriminates against U.S. citizens. I don't know how that works, because the U.S. citizens who live in-state also get in-state tuition. So I'm not sure how it discriminates against U.S. citizens, but that's, for the Trump DOJ to explain. So the Mexican-American Legal Defense and Educational Fund, or MALDEF, filed a motion in the lawsuit on behalf of the Kentucky Students for Affordable Tuition. That group is an unincorporated association of college students who are immigrants lacking permanent legal status that do qualify for in-state tuition. Currently, the motion says that the regulation is overturned. The students' tuition could increase up to 152%. Some of the students' rates would increase from $446 to $897 per semester credit hour. That is expensive. The students currently attend or plan to attend Kentucky public colleges and universities in the fall. The attorney for MALDEF said the DOJ's pattern of collusive lawsuits challenging affordable tuition for immigrant students is a nativist abuse of federal authority. That sounds right. Those laws have stood for years without challenge by administrations of both parties, even Trump's first administration. He previously did sign an executive order directing administration officers to stop state and local laws that provide in-state tuition to immigrants, but not out-of-state American citizens. Kentucky Republicans criticized Beshear for not stopping the state regulation. Earlier this year, Republican state rep and Twitter troll T.J. Roberts of Burlington filed a bill to undo the Kentucky policy. Did not get a committee hearing in the GOP-controlled super-duper majority because they also thought it was a hateful, horrible bill, apparently. Or they had other hateful, horrible bills to prioritize, I guess. All right, so that's, glad that our state has this, this rule, this policy that allows for, folks who are in the state and are living in state, but might not have that permanent legal status to get access to education with an in-state rate. Because I tell you what, college educations are outrageously expensive. And anything we can do to help bring down that cost, I think is worth doing it. And especially for folks who've been living here and who have been helping our economy and engaged with our societies and our communities. Why in the world would we want to tell them, no, they can't be a part of higher education in our state? So they're paying taxes. They should get the benefit of those taxes. Nate or Kim, any thoughts about that policy?
No, okay. I'm not muted, so I'll go. That should be our new thing. Whoever unmutes the quickest, they get to say the first word. Hats off to Kentucky for the policy, and what a disgrace that this administration wants to just hurt. Wants to be seen. It's all performative. That's the key word, I think, right there. It's like it wants to be seen as disadvantaging and discriminating against the other, which is usually a non-white person, immigrant, right? In this case, it's just these people who are here already, and they are our neighbors. They pay taxes. They love their families. They love their neighborhoods and communities. They may not be citizens yet, but for all intents and purposes, they're as American as any of us. So yes, they should get in-state tuition, and let's hope that we can prevail on this one.
Yeah, for sure. I hope we can. I'm sure that the Attorney General for Kentucky, Coleman, will not be stepping up to defend the governor. It's going to have to be on the governor's dime legally.
Someone wants to get in the Biden list.
Exactly. Dr. Cecil Jones, you have any thoughts about this story?
If you're paying taxes, you should have the ability and the right to take advantage of any programs, any organizations, anything that your state, your city, your country provides. I think it's wrong. And also on the other side of that, a lot of organizations are doing a lot of talking and strategizing right now because, for instance, I know you all haven't heard this for a long time. I'm an AKA like former Vice President Kamala Harris. And, just even the different types of sororities and fraternities that are on campuses. You have Hispanic, Latino, you have Asian fraternities and sororities. And the Trump administration is trying to get rid of all of that, right? So this only goes in line with, does he only want white men going to college? Is it going to go all the way back to back then?
A lot of othering going on right now. We one final story before we get to our guest. So Nate, take it away.
All right. Well, let's see. I guess we'll start off with a little song. It sounds like Jamie Comer. I wish she would disappear from political leadership, not from Earth. I don't want him dead.
Thank you for that clarification.
Jamie Comer. Well, and here's the thing. Jamie Comer this week has done a great job of disappearing himself from his constituents. Not showing up for town halls that were set up for him, not by him, but come on, he's our congressman. He's supposed to be wanting to know what his constituents do. So in the space of, I think, 2 days, there have been no fewer than 3 different town halls or protests or things that were created, calling him out, trying to get him to show up, and and he didn't, of course. So we'll start way down in the Jackson Purchase in Paducah, Four Rivers Indivisible. They had a protest as Comer was meeting with the Paducah Chamber of Commerce, and I think just over 30 people showed up, which is pretty impressive on a Tuesday when people had work and whatnot to do. Giving him what for? Did he pay attention? I don't know, but who's paying attention? We are. So hats off to Four Rivers Indivisible for doing the right thing and calling out our congressman's cowardice. Next, we'll bop up to the Danville Indivisible town hall that they had Tuesday as well. And that was actually a little bit different because they actually had the Democrat, Drew, oh, good Lord. Help me, Aaron. Who's the Democrat? Drew Williams?
I think that sounds right.
Yeah. Sorry, Drew. I apologize to everybody. But he showed up. He was there. He talked. The Kentuckians for the Commonwealth had a little video of the thing, and it looked like there was actually a pretty good turnout. So, hats off to everyone except for our Congressman, Jamie Comer, who made himself disappear from that one as well. And the last one I want to point out that's happened in the past few days is right here in Frankfort, my hometown. And this is actually a kind of a ongoing thing that Capital Indivisible is doing. They call it Megaphone Mondays. And full disclosure, my spouse, Kit O'Connor, who's also another founding member of this organization, is one of the big leaders there as well. So Kit has had a hand in that, and they keep getting more and more people every week. I think they're up to 20 or so this week. And again, this is on a Monday in the middle of the day. People are working, and these folks are worked up enough to show up and do some yelling. They hold this thing right across Capitol Avenue from the Mitch McConnell building, which is the official GOP headquarters in Kentucky. So it actually not across, right in front of. So they had all these great pictures of them kind of like leaning on the stone wall. Someone actually, trespassed, took their picture next to the sign with a protest sign and stuff. But, Jamie Comer, they keep asking him to show up. He has a thing just down the road at the VFW, I think once a month, where representatives from his office meet with veterans, which is a great thing, but it's not the same as Comer meeting with constituents. So this group has showed up there and, done some chanting and flag sign waving. So 3 different cities in the 1st district and 3 different groups shaking their fist and telling Jamie Comer that he should not be a coward, but he should meet with his constituents. So hats off to everyone involved in all that. And let's keep it going till this guy finally, gets a backbone and meets with us.
Awesome. I love that. Just having so many different grassroots groups engaged there. Capital Indivisible, Indivisible Danville, Four Rivers Indivisible, all going after him because of his ridiculously gerrymandered district. He's got many different cities, many different media markets, a couple of different time zones that they're going after him in.
Oh yeah,
which I love. But yeah, he's so dismissive. And I think the Four Rivers one, they were protesting outside like pay to attend event, right? So they're like, we're trying to get you to do actual town halls where the public can just show up, but instead you're showing up at the Chamber of Commerce event where people have to pay at least $60 to be in the room to ask you a question and making sure that it's a pretty friendly audience for sure. So
yeah,
kind of gross, right?
Grosses me out.
All right. So that's news of the week. That's
I
really
didn't get
Kimberly, what?
I can't believe you all forgot me.
I didn't. Aaron
That's
forgot
a
you.
strong
I would
word.
never forget you.
Forgot
It's
the
on
wrong word.
Aaron.
I'm
It's on
throwing Aaron under the
Aaron.
bus.
Of course you
It's
are.
on Aaron, you guys. It's on Aaron. However, I do want to say this. He's just going to do the same things that Andy Barr does, and they do telephone town halls.
Mm.
And they vet the people first that they're going to allow to ask questions. Okay. And that's how he's going to roll with it. Nobody that's as shameful as Jamie Comer is, shameful, just shame. Okay.
Shameful.
Is going
Shame.
to meet with people of integrity and dignity, and that's fighting for the cause. He's not going to do it. So just be ready for his town halls. I was on an Andy Barr town hall, and it opened my eyes to a lot of things.
Good for you.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't good for me, Nate. It was actually very painful. Okay.
Oh,
I had a headache.
Yeah. I believe.
All right. So now I'm very excited to be joined by our guest this week. I think his return, maybe the second time on the show, Dustin Reinstedler, the Kentucky State AFL-CIO president. Really always excited to hear from our friends at Labor and what's going on with the union movements across our Commonwealth. Dustin is a busy guy with a lot going on, and we're glad that he's been able to take a minute in the lead in to Labor Day to join us and give us the what's the update, Dustin? How's the state of labor in the Commonwealth?
Man, the state of labor is strong. Thank you all for having me. Always great to see you. I definitely consider you guys huge labor allies and family. So I just want to give you guys a shout out real quick. State of labor, we do what we do. We stand up and fight back. We've been working pretty hard. I got to give a shout out real quick. You guys are talking about Comer. Shout out to my congressman, Morgan McGarvey. That guy's all over the place. He shows up exactly the opposite of what you all are dogging somebody else about. So,
no one likes a bragger, Dustin. Nobody likes a brag. Yeah, no.
Morgan is my congressman too.
Oh yeah, great. We all want to hear about it. No, he's our guy for that entire state, right? Like he's the guy that is absolutely dependably doing the right stuff, and I feel like he does see himself as like, providing those services to everyone who feels similarly, even though we don't get a chance to vote for him in the wide swaths of the state.
I mean, he has a 100% voting record with AFL-CIO. Just perfect guy. But no, we've been up to a lot. Late last year, we started the very first ever Kentucky chapter of LACLA, which is Labor Council for Latin American Advancement. That's been a big jump for us. And they've been instrumental in putting on a lot of Know Your Rights trainings in workplaces, schools, for students and educators, to just try to let people know what's going on, what they can do. Huge news for us, and has really just catapulted us forward. We hired a communications director, I want to say like the first week of Feb, maybe second week, right in the middle of General Assembly. So really, Belle Townsend has been outstanding for us. If you paid attention to us before and you're paying attention to us now on social media, and you're signed up for our newsletter and all the stuff, you have certainly noticed a difference. We've also done something that we've been dreaming about for a long time. I got to give Wiles Taylor, our mobilization director, credit. He started some educational programming where we're helping unions identify potential candidates to run for elected positions around the state of Kentucky. Not only that, but once we identify them, we're setting them up with training, everything that you can think of, and then we're providing a support system once they file and run. And I want to be clear, this could be Republican, Democrat, Independent, although currently we only have Democrats. So I'm just going to throw that out there, but we don't care. If you're pro-working class, you're pro-working class. Your other issues that you may want to run on, that's your business. But We kind of revamped our legislative scorecard system, which has been very eye-opening to really let ourselves and people know just how anti-worker this supermajority is in Frankfort. Sure, that's no secret to you all, but when you see the numbers, it's pretty outstanding. And this earlier session this year, we had a record turnout for lobby days. So we had some first-time lobby days, like the Building Trades Council had over, I believe, 100 construction workers, just rank and file, regular working class union members come spend a day with us, learn how to lobby and lobby single issues. So we're filling the halls of Frankfort with work boots and construction shirts, and bright colors, safety vests and all that. We just had our national AFL bus tour in July come to Louisville. That was a really big deal for us. We had our first ever women's summit in the end of July, where over 160 union women came together over at IBW Local 369 in Louisville for a full day of just educational programming, networking, solidarity building, empowerment, all that stuff. I'm really proud to announce that we have our first ever Young Workers Conference coming up October 24th, which should be huge. We want to do the exact same thing and give young workers not only the voice in the workplace, but kind of lift them up and show them that it's also their union. And we hope that they step up into roles of responsibility and leadership, as future generations keep this thing going. That's about it. Got a big convention coming up, AFL-CIO in Kentucky in the beginning of November. And we're actually having a day of action in Bowling Green. I hope to see you guys there and anybody else that wants to come. That's going to be open to the public, basically a big rally, pro-worker. We're going to have some posters of actual legislators from that area with their voting records. So, we're going to put them on the town square and put them on the spot and call them out and let people know this is who you're voting for and this is what they're doing to you when they go to Frankfort. Looking forward to that. Again, we hope everybody shows up for that.
That's awesome. That's a ton. Good God.
Sorry, I went off there.
Yeah.
I don't know how you kept that all straight. That's impressive. You guys are clearly just sitting around.
Yeah, that's right.
Not doing anything.
Firing on all pistons.
We are big fans of Belle Townsend. Great hire on your part. She's been on the show. Some of the great work that Backwoods Press, Literary Press does in the past. Kim, I think you got a question for Dustin.
I sure do, Dustin. How are you doing today?
Doing well. Great to hear from you.
I listened to everything that you guys were doing and I felt absolutely exhausted. It's a lot and it's great to see and hear about it. Please make sure that you share our show on all of your platforms and everything, because people really need to know this information that you're speaking to us today. But
it's
my question
right this minute.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Okay, here goes my question for you, Dustin. Okay. How are the Trump economic policies, like his taxes on trade, how are those impacting our Commonwealth, specifically union jobs in the Commonwealth?
Negatively, as expected, as predicted, as studied. The biggest hit is the bourbon industry. From what I know right now, we're down about 2,000 jobs in the bourbon industry in Kentucky. Manufacturing has also seen a slight hit. I wouldn't go as high as say thousands, but maybe pushing up on 1,000, just because of where some people source their materials from for what they make in Kentucky. And construction, believe it or not, although construction is still kind of booming, it's definitely winding down. You're seeing some of these mega projects come to an end, but most notably, just a perfect example, and they were not shy about it. They came around and said it, but Churchill Downs canceled a $1 billion construction project here in Louisville, and hundreds of construction jobs, good paying jobs, are just on hold. So you're going to continue to see, I think, a lot of investments. People will just have uncertainty in how they're going to spend their money. The cost of the building materials, I'm sure, are a huge factor for some of that. I things are definitely going to slow down. We've already started to see that here in Kentucky. Good question.
Yikes. That's not nothing there. That's a lot of serious jobs. Nate, you got a question for Dustin?
Yeah, we couldn't help but notice that Labor Day is coming up this weekend, and you can't say Labor Day without labor. With Labor Day coming up, how would you like to see labor and progressives like us collaborating?
We're already doing it, and I'm really, really proud of the work that's being done together. But we just need to do more. So that's bring a friend who brings a friend who brings a friend, and let's share each other's events. How I just invited you guys to please come to our rally in Bowling Green in November, and you all invite me to stuff. We're doing it. We just have to keep doing it and bring more people. As far as Labor Day goes, that's a lot of people say, what's your favorite holiday? And you hear Christmas, Thanksgiving because of the food, whatever. Labor Day seriously has always been my favorite holiday, but we are kind of making a push on May Day being the new Labor Day. I'm sure you guys know a lot about May Day.
Mm-hmm.
I hope your viewers and listeners will take the opportunity to do a search and maybe even go down the rabbit hole of May Day. But I think starting next year, we're going to really hype up that date.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we did a huge rally in Lexington on May Day, the kind of May Day action, working with AFT and working with others. I know there was a bunch of AFL folks in the mix for that. I do feel like that one, maybe we got rained out almost. It was like the weather was horrible on that one.
Everyone did, yeah.
Yeah, fingers crossed that Labor Day weather is better because we do have that rally coming up there as well. The Bowling Green rally is a great flag. Thank you much for inviting us to that one for sure. We can spread word out to our supporters in the Western Kentucky area. One question I've got for you, you guys, what I love about labor is you don't really shy away from the fact that policy and politics truly matters to your best interests. So I wanted to check in, how do you guys look at endorsements, specifically in state house races? What determines, say, why you endorsed an Adam Moore or Sherilyn Stevenson for the house races in 2024? Have you ever thought about getting a SWAT team that follows anti-labor politicians, so if they show up at Labor Day parades, you can bird dog them and tell them to get the heck out? Because I feel like that's the worst shamelessness and the kind of
we have that already. Yeah, we do. I'm not going to mention any names, but we have people. So as far as the endorsement process goes, it's lengthy, it's detailed, it's very structured, but it's for a reason. It's really fair. So at the filing deadline, we actually send out questionnaires, and there's X number of questions. How do you feel about this issue? What's your stance on this? What would you do differently here? And then we even do interviews in some cases if we really don't know the person. We also look at the legislative scorecards on incumbents. And then it is a full-on committee process where we meet in person. It's not like I have some authority to just grant an endorsement. All of our affiliated unions are involved in that process. So yeah, that's kind of how that goes.
And and you guys, I'm assuming you anticipate playing a pretty big role in these state house races during the midterms. Obviously, at the federal level, I think you said that's kind of out of your hands. That's the federal AFL-CIO, so the 6th district, which we expect to be, and we are going to be working to make it as competitive as humanly possible. But there's a bunch of state house races in that area as well with overlap. So I'd imagine there'd have to be some coordination. But what kind of engagement do you guys pitch in for races that you endorse in?
Well, so if we give an endorsement, that then opens up for all of our affiliates to give endorsements. AFL-CIO, we're not a PAC fund, so we don't actually give money, but because that would limit all of our affiliates to what they could do. So by us not doing anything, it actually allows all of our affiliates to do a lot collectively. So then at that point, it's up to our affiliates, electricians, Teamsters, whoever, to write checks. And then not only us, but them, we're out there knocking doors. We're holding fundraisers. We're putting our name on people. We're putting out statements, highlighting bad voting records of maybe a bad incumbent who we're trying to unseat, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Seems like, right now things aren't great in terms of the policies at the state level, right? I mean, we're still a right to work for less state. I think you were saying earlier, though, that despite that, like, we've got one of the highest labor concentrations from the southern states. Is that right?
Yeah, it's wild, and it really is a testament to Kentucky's, rich history in organized labor, all the way back to the coal miners of when the greedy, steam shovels came to town and tried to set up the company store and turn militias on groups of people. You guys know the stories, and Kentucky was like the battleground for a lot of that stuff. So we got some strong people, some strong working class people here. And I'm proud to tell you that union numbers went up again. We're just over 131,000 union members in Kentucky, and that still maintains us as the highest union density percentage in the South.
That's awesome. Yeah,
really is,
congratulations for sure. That as like labor and unions lift everybody. Absolutely. And
Sure.
I'm glad to hear. Any specific labor fights you're looking at right now, or any workplaces that are being organized, or anyone you want to shout out in terms of the work in the trenches right now? Absolutely.
Everybody's doing their part, and like, whether you're organizing 2 people or 2,000 people, a win's a win, and it's a win for the workers more than anything. And it's a win for all workers, whether you're union or not, because you're right, we do raise the tide for everybody. But I can't really say the name of some of these, but there are some pretty big active organizing campaigns. I will tell you a little specifics. There's a manufacturing facility in Richmond with around 1,500 workers that have a really strong campaign going on right now. I don't know if you guys heard, but recently UAW was successful with the Speed Art Museum. For those workers, yeah, that's pretty cool, right? For UAW and art museum workers. And the Teamsters got a pretty good sized facility in Morgantown, Kentucky, of all places. And when you think of Morgantown, I don't know if you guys have ever been there, but it's not much of a progressive blue dot on the map or anything. So people are really tired of seeing all these, there's corporate welfare, all these tax breaks to the wealthy and the ruling class. It's right there, putting it right in your face. And I think whether you're Republican or Democrat, I think people see the value in unions. So we just have to do our best job of trying to educate our members and other people, really kind of what you said earlier about how we put a focus on why the politics and policies matter.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, maybe offline you can tell me what the Madison County employer is. I'd be interested to hear that. But I do, and we had earlier on this show, we had a couple of the workers who are helping organize with the UAW. So the BOSC, or the Ford's EV battery plant, which I think they're having their vote right now. And then somebody with the Toyota plant, which is I think a super challenging place to organize, but one that clearly, should be.
If I could talk about Blue Oval real quick, if you don't mind. Yeah. I didn't bring it up on purpose just because I think everyone knows about it at this point. But what those workers have done, and as a person that's been there in person and talked to some of them and been to some of their private meetings and so on, what they're going through, the safety violations and the empty promises and the wild expectations that they're putting on these people. And then the leadership, it sounds like no one has a clue what's going on. These are just people that are just trying to have a better place to work. We're really, really confident that we think that this is going to go through. If it does, it needs to be celebrated, I think, on a national stage, because what a win. And we really put Kentucky on the map and give other workers hope that maybe they could do the same.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, for sure. I think it's like right now the only facility that's kind of affiliated with Ford that isn't, unionized in the state. So, I think that's a bit of a, black eye for Ford. And Ford says, of course, oh, well, it's not ours. It's a joint venture. So yeah, it's different, give me a break, right? Like, anyway, any other final thoughts you want to impart upon our viewers and listeners, Dustin?
Anytime someone gives the opportunity to say something to people out there, working class people who are not a union, I'll take it. So thank you. If you are interested in joining or forming a union in any way, look us up, get in touch with us. We will put you in touch with the proper people, and we'll support you.
Awesome. Always a pleasure, Dustin. Thank you so much for all the work you guys do to lift that tide that helps everyone in our Commonwealth for sure. And happy Labor Day.
Same to you all. Take care.
Awesome.
Thanks again.
So now really excited. We're going to be going to our call to action, which I think our man Nate is going to be doing that one for us.
I think so. And the call to action this week, it's here, friends. Labor Day is this upcoming Monday, September 1st. Labor Day actions are being planned all over the country, of course, not the least of which will be a big rally in Lexington. So make your plans to join AFT, Progress Kentucky, Bluegrass Activists Alliance, 50501KY, and a coalition of groups that have been organizing the mass mobilizations throughout this year. The Labor Day event is going to be at Courthouse Plaza, downtown Lexington, from 5 to 8 p.m. And oh yes, we at Progress Kentucky will be tabling. So come on down, say hi, and you can RSVP on the mobilized link that we're going to be sharing with you. Gosh, what a way to end Labor Day than with your friends at Progress Kentucky and all these great progressive groups, and showing that you love labor and organizing.
Let's do that. Show that you love labor and organizing. Come on out on Labor Day. Kimberly, you want to close this out?
Yes, I sure will. But first of all, here at Kernels of Truth, Progress Kentucky, we do send out our most positive vibes, our prayers to the victims and the family of the mass shooting in Minneapolis this morning. There were 2 children killed, 17 people were injured, 14 of those were children. A gunman was caught, just went and looked inside of the church at Annunciation Church, which also houses a school, and saw children sitting in the pews and just started firing shots. Do want to let everyone know that the shooter did obtain the gun legally. So I just wanted to bring that up because I know that here at Progress Kentucky, Kernels of Truth, we do care about people, and we care about those family members and what they may be going through right now. It's especially hardening when it's children. But let me give the disclaimer at this point to close us on out. Progress Kentucky is a nonprofit organization registered with the Kentucky Secretary of State and organized as a 501c4. We are affiliated with the Indivisible Project and the Commonwealth Alliance Voter Engagement, known as CAVE. And we're also proud members of the Forward Kentucky Network. Progress Kentucky's goal is to educate, organize, increase voter turnout, and advance a progressive agenda through civic engagement. Please join us next week for our 226th episode. Yes, we are in the mix. 226 episodes. Dee Davis, the director of the East Kentucky-based Center for Rural Strategies and publisher of the Daily Yonker, will discuss how we can advance progressive policies in rural communities, which is highly important right now. Production of episode 225 tonight was in kind by Nate and also by our very own Aaron Biles. It was a team effort. We always appreciate all the work that you guys do. Nate Orshan, who you had the pleasure of seeing this time, wrote and performed our theme song. You can find more information and music at natosongs.com. Everybody say it with me, Nato songs.com. And if you miss our weekly live stream on Facebook or YouTube, audio podcasts and our show notes are available on Apple, Google, Spotify, and just about wherever you get your podcast. And when you do listen to the podcast or you share it out to your friends and family, make sure that you're telling yourself and everyone else to give us a 5-star review. It helps the algorithm and us to be allowed to give this information to more people. So we appreciate you tonight, to all of our listeners and viewers, and we will see you here next week at the same time, same day, and have a good rest of your week.